Alhamdulillah wahda, wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da, amma ba'd. So as we started the understanding of rulings related to fasting, as we are coming very close to Ramadan. So last Friday we had the introductory bit and where we had gone through some of the rules related to that. The next topic would be what would nullify the fast? Rather than going through the things that will nullify fast, which we do at the end, we go through the principle. If you understand the principle, then you are sound. Then you know what's happening. You can make that decision on your own. Obviously, don't do it, but you can generally understand, not as a fatwa, as a masala. And it's based on the article which was written by a very great and grand Mufti of Pakistan, Mufti Rafi Usmani Sahab, Rahmatullahi alayhi, who's the older brother of Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahab, the famous scholar from Pakistan. So he wrote the principles, and based on that in the contemporary time, and then with that you can easily understand what would be the situation if you just apply those principles, inshallah. There's a brother called Wasim Hussain from Denmark. He actually translated it in English, made it even easier and accessible some years ago, maybe 15 years or so. So, okay, let's move on. So what are the principles? There are about 5 principles, but the most important thing is, what are the things that would break your fast? The only 2 things: a substance entering the body. Anything entering, we come to that. What does it mean? From outside to inside. What that inside is, what that outside is, or where from, all of those are the principles related. And a sexual relationship. So those are the 2 things: eating or drinking, or having sexual relationship, or having something entering the body, or sexual relationship. Those are the 2 things. Now, these 5 things, and then obviously 2 things related to sexual relationship. But with regards to the substance, there has to be these 5 points. Or if you apply that and learn that, you know the answer. So we will go through each of those separately. The presence of a substance. What is a substance? We need to know that. Second, where should it reach? What do we mean by substance entering the body? Going where? Under the skin? On the head? Inside? Out? Which inside are we talking about? And then from where? Anywhere? From my skin? From my throat? Which part? From my eyes? What are the entry points that we are focusing on with regards to the nullifiers of the fast? And what does it mean if I just swallow something and bring it out? Then would that be, or there has to be something else on top of that? What should happen to that substance subsequently once it has entered the body? And finally, was there any excuse that would justify that? You had everything, you've eaten, and yet it doesn't break your fast. You had intimacy and it doesn't break fast. Could there be a situation? Yes, there would be. So knowing all of those, these are the 5 principles with regards to eating and drinking, and the 2 points about the sexual relationship. We cover that as well. That's brief and easy. Most people know anyway. So what is a substance? A substance is a discernible body, a body of something that has weight, space. It takes some, is a mass. So it has to have something of significance. Now, ideally, it should be visible. It should be discernible. It could be big or small, something that you can very easily see, but you know that there's a body, yet you can't, and you can maybe see it, but you maybe not weigh it. But machines can. In the modern time, you can. Smoke, for example, you can see smoke, but you can't actually see each particle there. But there is a weight, there is a size. Now, whether there is a nutritional value to it or not, that is another important point to look at. Is it medicine, or is it just food that we're talking about? We'll come to that. Solid, liquid, whatever. Does it melt or doesn't melt? So going in and staying the way it is. So it has to have a body, and that suffices. That would qualify as a substance, a discernible body. Okay. So if you have a sensation in the mouth, you feel that I've got a taste in my mouth. Is there a body for that? It's just a taste, and you know for sure there's nothing. I've just eaten something and brushed my teeth. I've cleaned it, everything. And after that, you still feel the taste. You still feel maybe tea, for example. You're still feeling that, a chocolate, that the taste is still there in my mouth. Any apple, apple or whatever. If you feel that taste, but you know for sure there's no substance, It's just a taste. There has to be a substance. Okay. Likewise, what about smelling something that does not have anything going inside you? Just smelling perfume. So it has to enter. So there has to be a discernible body. So what is the principle? Only a substance with a discernible body invalidates fast. So that's possible. That's first point. And the reverse would be that which does not have a discernible body would not invalidate your fast. The second point. So we are clear on that. The second point is, where should it reach? In order for the fast to be invalidated, the substance must reach the digestive system. Eating and drinking is related to digestive system. And what is digestive system? Starting from your throat, mouth, stomach, esophagus, obviously the tube that goes down, further intestine, and it reaches, if the substance reaches one of those three, the fast is broken. Throat, including a mouth below, up here, from there down, where there's no go area. Anything in the mouth, no problem. You keep holding your food or whatever you like and keep rolling it, you're chewing them, but not swallowing anything. It doesn't actually, it's not a substance going inside, it's just there. So that's why we do not put mouth in there. Mouth is the entry point, will come next. But the throat, once it has gone, how do we know? Once it has gone to the point where you can't regurgitate it actively, it's beyond your control. Slip down, done, throat. And likewise, obviously, esophagus is part of that, but it doesn't stay there. It tends to stay in the stomach and then intestine. Okay, so keep that in mind. Anything that reaches a substance, not anything, a substance with the body reaches one of the three, either throat, stomach, or the intestine, then it's gone. And small, large, all intestine, including rectum up to the end, yeah? So all of that included. In that, the reverse is, if something reaches my skin, under the skin, my finger, thigh, injected here, it is not going to go into this cavity. So what about the injection then? No problem. It doesn't nullify your fast. Okay? There's a body, but it's not entering the cavities. Cavity being these three things, yeah? The fast is invalidated if a substance reaches the digestive system. The fast is not invalidated if the substance does not reach that. Third point, manafid, manfaz, the entry points. What are the entry points? Mouth. Anything entering from here, because that would lead to stomach or throat or intestine. Nose, it would lead. What else do you think would lead? Back passage, up. What about ear? Is there any connection between ear and the mouth? Anybody? Any doctor here? No doctor? No, that's why no. No, there's no connection. There's no connection. You feel in the throat, yes. Sometimes you feel. No, you shouldn't actually feel. You only feel because when you put the drop when you have infection and the eardrum is broken. That is when you feel it. Normal ear, no connection. Eye drops. What about eye drops? Any connection with eye drop, you think? Have you ever done the surma thing? The kajal, the kohol? And you felt the blackness in your throat? You put the medicine in the eye and you feel the taste in your mouth? Yes. Anybody who tasted it, yes or no? Yes. Is there any connection with the eye is connected to the throat directly? It's not actually. It is indirectly connected. What could be the indirect connection? When you cry, the tears come. Where do they go? Have you noticed that when you cry, you have runny nose as well? Because that's the lacrimal gland. They produce that tear, and it is just, literally causing your eye to well up, and then tear would go from this, at the end here, right at the junction, there are small holes that would take it inside the nose. And from there, it goes either down or back, depending on which position you are or what you're doing. If you're sniffling, go back. If you let it go, just continue to drip. So no direct connection, indirect connection to the nose. And from there, inside the mouth or throat. No direct connection. Okay? No, that's proven. Nothing to do with that. This is like, obviously, in Fuqaha in olden days thought that there's a connection. And they also thought that the ear is connected as well. The medical science has proven that. And so we all agree that, remember, when Fuqaha says something which is based on the scientific facts, it is dependent on what the science is telling them. It's not their fault if they say there was a connection. They didn't make up this idea. The science of the time told them it is connected. So, okay, it's connected, then it will break. They would give you a principle. You as a doctor or the scientist would subsequently tell them, no, actually, there's no connection. Fine, no problem. You understand that? So whenever you feel, why Fuqaha change their opinion? They used to say, this is permissible, now it's not. For example, I'm just clarifying that because someone just raised this question recently. Oh, they always say it. Initially, no, 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 and then they accept it. It's not because they say no, no, no. They ask the expert of the subject, and they say, this is what it is. For example, when the mic came, the megaphones, early stage, more than 100 years back, everyone gave up because they said it's impermissible to use it. The reason was the scientists of the time told them, this sound that you're getting through the megaphone and you're reciting there, it is not your voice, it is a machine generates and augments this voice. It's not that voice. It's not live then. Anyone following that is not following Imam, it's following someone else. Because that's a machine generated sound, impermissible. Then he said, no, it's the same voice, just enhanced, augmented. Like, Alan. So, see, Fuqaha didn't know. No, it's not. Science didn't know. Whatever science said, they just followed it. Yesterday, you say alcohol is this haram. So there's no alcohol is actually derived only from fruits, and not rotten one, but the proper one. Right? So whatever you say, meaning obviously the scientists. I'm just giving you the background to it. Anyway, so they used to say ear would have a problem. But that is an entry point. But eyes, we'll come to all of them in a minute. These are the points potentially leading you up to. What about the private part of women? They always think that all of these are connected to the intestine. I will clarify that. So these are the technical entry points into the body. But are they reaching the digestive system? We come to that. Urinary catheter, urine can go there. Head injury. They used to think traditionally there is, again, doctors told them, there is a connection between the mind and the stomach. So they said this cavity is connected to this cavity. So sort of deep head injury, something going there might reach there. Okay, fine, it would nullify it. A deep abdominal injury, some operation injury, bags, whatever. Okay, these are potential entry points. Pores of the skin, water can seep through this. In the mouth, they can just keep it inside the mouth, and they can use some medicine. Have you heard about, if you have heart, hopefully none of you, but heart attack, put the tablet on the tongue, under the tongue, and that got dissolved, and that it would just go inside the bloodstream. It can absorb. Yeah, sorry. And also from the skin pores. So sometimes you put the cream in, and after some time it just gone. So it goes inside through the pore. It can go inside. So any entry point linked with the digestive system, either directly or indirectly, the fast is only invalidated if the substance comes through this type of entry point. So an entry point that is not linked with the digestive system, neither directly nor indirectly, the fast is not invalidated. So for example, look at that. Mouth, the mouth is directly connected. Nose, yes. Our ears, no. The ear is not connected to the digestive system unless there is a hole in the eardrum, perforated tympanic membrane or whatever, then yes. Eyes, no, there's no direct connection. Indirectly, yes, there is a potential, although it is not, again, through the nose though. It's not eye problem, it is nose problem. But there is another reason for that. We'll come to that in a minute. It's one specific reason for eye. What about anus? Yes, directly connected to intestine from bottom. Female private part, not connected, because no connection there. They used to think, unless there's a fistula, unless there's a condition with infection, inflammation, keep going to the point that this part gets infected and there's a hole, that hole gets connected to the anus or rectum. Or it can, the urine tube, that bladder has got connection there because of infection, chronic condition, cancer, whatever, different things. And people do have those problems. They may urinate from back passage because the urine from here to there, or vice versa. Can go both ways. They can smell because the poo is coming this way. So that's fistula, meaning a connection, abnormal connection due to infection, inflammation, cancer, diseases, trauma. Someone got back trauma. That can all get mixed up. That can happen. Urinary passage, no connection. It goes into the kidneys and from there on. Sorry. Head injury, not connected to the digestive system, unless the basal skull of the, there's a fracture of the base of the skull. Okay, then it would be indirectly connected because that base is connected here to the throat. Because the throat has just the base up there of the brain. If there's a fracture there, it may leak inside the throat. Obviously, there'll be opening of some sort. So not normally. Deep abdominal wound, it may directly go straight into the intestine. Then it's connected. Pores, the pores are not connected to the digestive system. They are considered to absorb the substance and let it into the bloodstream, not in the digestive system. Okay, so what are the invalidating? The mouth, the nose, the anus, the deep abdominal injury, they would. So it will invalidate the fast if you swallow a piece of bread. But putting bread into the mouth without it reaching the throat and you keep swallowing it, keep enjoying it there, disliked, shouldn't be doing it. But that would not nullify your fast because it hasn't reached where it should have reached. Okay. What about asthma pump? Well, it's going from the mouth, but is it reaching? Where is it reaching? Throat.
Digestive system.
Exactly. But it doesn't go in the stomach, though, does it?
No.
But throat is one of the entry points. So what's the problem there?
Reaches the lungs.
It is mainly for the lungs. So, but how much of that goes to the lung? Majority go to the lung when you take a good sharp, blow in, and then goes inside the lung. But a lot of that gets stuck to the throat. You feel the taste here. That's why you're told to rinse your mouth after that, and that gets mixed with saliva. From there, nicely flow inside the feeding tube, pharynx, from there inside the esophagus, and then the stomach. Now, so has it got a body? The particles? Yes. You've got inhaler. Does it not say what microgram you're taking? The dose of that medicine that you're taking? So if it's steroid, they will say, oh, it's 200/6, 200 micron, even if the size is micron, you can measure it. It has a body. Obviously, might not be seeable at that level, but they have a body. It is considered like a smoke body. So it's very small nebulizer, for example, they have a body. If something has a body and they go from those entry points, that is why so this is very small, negligible. There's no such thing as negligible or not negligible. There is something which is negligible that will come in a minute, but asthma pump is actively done as opposed to something which is unavoidable, and I would come to that in a minute. That will come in excuses part.
So nutritional values, they can have any.
That's what we said. Doesn't matter whether it's a substance going from any of the entry point in the tract, staying there, and no excuse. All five has to be there. We'll keep practicing that in a minute when you get quiz at the end, small quiz. Yes, unless there's a hole, we'll go through that. All these passages, can ignore them all. Injection here, substance, but not going in the digestive system and not going through the entry point. Okay.
If you have an ear infection and then you put eardrops in for the ear infection, potentially there is
if there was a hole, because not every infection would lead you up to health. So the doctor would tell you whether there's a hole or not. Otherwise, and then generally you can avoid anyway. Avoid, you can, yeah. Only a substance that enters from an invalidating point, that would invalidate the fast. Otherwise, it wouldn't. The manner of stay. The substance can stay in the digestive system in two ways: by staying independently or by being attached to something outside of the digestive system. So you've got a very stingy host. He gives you, a very nice steak piece, which is swallowed, the string at the end. He said, now you had it, give it back to me and pull it out. If he does that, you have a substance going from the right side in the right digestive system, it doesn't nullify your fast though, because it came out. If he left it, if he's a little bit relaxed and let you have it for a couple of hours, then obviously it's digested. If he takes it back, keep giving. I've done it 3 times. Want another? One more steak? That wouldn't nullify your fast. Now the problem is though, if there was any oil stuff and other stuff attached to it, that would get settled down in the stomach because the acid or something would just take it. That may nullify it. I'm just telling you to understand. You don't do it and no one does it. But who knows? Who knows the world that we live in? Everything is possible. Maybe people would try it and then demonstrate it through AI. Endoscopy. So there's actually a thing called capsule endoscopy. And there is this endoscopy, the procedure that we do. That was the reason of mentioning this endoscopy. I was coming to that. You put the scope down to look at what's happening. So should it break or not break? This is going through the mouth.
No break.
It shouldn't break because it's not going to stay there. But why should lubricant? Because he had it, so he knows it. There's a lubricant. You have to lubricate the tube. It's like this size tube, fiber optic stuff. And then the lubricant would stay. You can't hold it. It would just be released anyway. So that would nullify.
Where can it throw?
Again?
Where can it throw up? Like, someone throw up like one after vomit.
Vomiting was coming. That's a topic separately. There's different rule for that coming in a minute. So the substance only invalidates the fast if it stays independently inside the digestive system. As I mentioned, so it wouldn't, if you just tie it and bring it back. The capsule endoscopy, sometimes, well, nowadays they've got, they keep it inside. Sometimes they would just take it out. They used to have earlier days. Now, with a thread, and we just bring it out afterwards versus taking the picture inside. Now they give it to you to just swallow it, and it is the minute it goes inside the stomach, there's a special a level of pH that would just open up the camera, and it would just it would just keep rotating and keep getting digested through the propulsion, normal peristalsis we call it. All the intestine are moving regularly at intervals. It will continue to do it. It will keep moving and keep taking the picture. Throughout, all your intestines are taking a picture of, and then when you excrete it out from back passage, you wash it, obviously, I hope, and then open it up, and you get all the data, all the pictures of your inside out. I know you're inside out, not metaphorically, physically, actually. So now the last point was, the principle is only an independent stay in the digestive system will nullify it, yeah? So do you have excuses? Excuses are forgetfulness. So and there is something that got stuck somewhere. And then very small substance, unavoidable substance. So these excuses, so we come to that in a minute. Based on this scheme, what is forgetfulness? You are not aware that you were fasting at the time that you ingested something, for example. Even if, hard to imagine, but people have done that. And they were honest. They said, you know what? They had a relationship with their wives, and they said, oh, we'd completely forgotten we were fasting. Both of them forgotten. It happened. So it's not unheard of. Okay. People are so crazy. That's why you do not get married just one day before Ramadan. Then you end up committing something similar. So you do that way before. This is what happened. Now, You didn't recall exactly that alpha. I had once, and I was about 9 years old because I remember I was in year 5, so I was perhaps 9 or maybe 10 at the most. And I was fun. It was obviously it wasn't obligatory, but it was very hot in August, I know. So, and we're all playing, all the cousins, everyone, and holiday period in Ramadan in August in Pakistan. The There was a glass of water. So I don't know why someone left it there. So I just came and then I just had it. And then we started playing. My sisters were like, "Oh, you broke your fast." And then all of a sudden, someone said, "No, no, no, no." Some of the kids knew it, and they said, "No, that doesn't break," because I didn't know. I said, "That's fine." Oh, and I said, "I wish it was full." It were very hot days, but anyway, so that's fine. You could have as much as you like without knowing. Once you complete. Now, if the onlooker, what's the responsibility of the onlooker? So they say if someone is weak, frail, if you don't let them eat, they may actually collapse because of the hot weather or the way they are. Let them ignore and run away from them. Ignore it and go out. If someone young, fit, healthy man, tell him, stop it. You fasted. Oh, so now whatever is in the mouth, that he must spit out straight away. Now that he knows any drop going down, okay, so don't do that.
Would have we go to waste?
Keep it for next time. Give it to someone who's not fasting. Okay. Likewise, drinking.
Or should we still remind them that yes,
Yeah, definitely. If young, healthy individual who wouldn't collapse with fasting, definitely remind them. You're doing favor to them by reminding them. For the other one, you're favoring because he's so frail and weak, he might collapse. You don't want him to be in hospital. Now, what is stuck? Another excuse is with this. Something is stuck between the teeth. And that was, you've done your pre-dawn meal and you've tried everything and cleaned it. Obviously, there'll be some pieces, small bits left here and there. So, how much? Less than a size of chickpea. Okay, so I have been very generous here. So, inshallah, you wouldn't need that. But if that is ingested accidentally or whatever, that will be fine. So, if the size of what was stuck between the teeth is less than a chickpea, then it will not invalidate the fast. Otherwise, it would. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything comes up, it's better to take it out or just.
Definitely. What it means that something went accidentally, something is swallowed accidentally. If you knew it and you can take it out, definitely take it out. Now, another important point with that is it was smaller than chickpea. You took it out and said, "Oh, it's smaller than chickpea." Back in, gone. Now you've actually ingested it. Don't do that. Sometimes we have to be horrible. Well, I do a lot more than sometimes, but yeah. Come to that. Come to that.
Where did the chickpea, like, on Sunny's limb come from?
Fuqaha identified that based on because there were certain Sahaba, whatever they consume, whatever Rasulullah allowed that, based on the fatwa of Sahaba with their experiences. Okay. They just worked it out, that maybe in those days about this, keep it a number, give it a number. Obviously, this is not based on very strong hadith or something, but based on what the fatwa from Sahaba and the Aimma who saw Sahaba, that's how they got it from. Inshallah, and that's been accepted. Whatever is considered negligible in those days. Nowadays, I think perhaps they might, if they were today, they might change it, depending on, because chickpeas is a good size, isn't it? But alhamdulillah, still good. Leave it to that, because
Especially the white one.
now it is chewed such that no taste is found in the throat. So if a substance the size of sesame seed, very small, entered the throat, and then there is a distinction between whether it is tasted or not. So it is chewed such that no taste is found in the throat. If the substance was chewed in a manner such that its body disappeared and it could not be tasted, then it would not invalidate the fast. Otherwise, it would. Is that clear? Meaning it was very small, taken in, not talking about something which was in between. We're done with the in between. So that was, you found something stuck and you swallowed it accidentally or knowingly. That's fine. You knew it, but that was smaller than that. That's okay. You're praying and you just, it's quite common if something is in the mouth. That's why you just make sure that you've done proper cleaning before the Fajr time, dawn time. if someone afterward you identify and you just swallowed it, it's not about actively going and gauging and working it out and deciding whether to swallow or not. It accidentally happened. No one would actively do it, obviously. If you could take it out and throw it away. So what it would not nullify if it was less than 60. But that was one topic. The second point is this sesame seed. So something of that size, but you could feel the taste, and that you swallowed from outside actively. You didn't. You knew it, and you could swallow it, and you actually. So that would nullify. If you didn't feel the taste, it was so small, it was be considered very small. Like sesame seed. You understand? Till just get it. Till what? Very very small. नहीं so soft कभी even एक तिहाई होगा so very small till is like the small जो तिल वाले वो आते हैं बन होते हैं ना बन पे लगे होते हैं छोटे से हाँ कुलचों पे लगे होते हैं
So if you that sesame seed
size of anything
will break
actually
your heart
if you could taste it after it got dissolved and you just tasted it कभी ऐसा होता है ना कि इधर लगा होता है ऐसे कुछ कर लिया कुछ गलती से चला गया actively you wouldn't do it sometimes you find out afterwards thing that one is not able to guard oneself against and if one were to do so then it would entail unbearable hardship you won't be able to control it you've just done wudu for dhuhr and you're fasting you spit it all out would there be small parts of water stuck in the mouth obviously what would you do with that you keep throwing it out no once you've done enough first time leave it in okay that is ignored you taking shower some damp might have gone inside ignore it like you didn't turn that thingy what you call the exhaust on or the windows on if it was very cold don't worry mucus from inside no problem it's not don't do it but yes inside not from outside inside not talking about the small boys and girls when they play with it not talking about transportation from here to there export import that's not permissible talking about what was inside you did it like this and something went back saliva likewise we got all excuse when we were kids and we were fasting you know what just keep spitting wherever we find in between games till we realize within a couple of years, maybe a little longer, no one told us. You don't have to do. Oh, good. That made your life easy. You're not gargling. That's why in fasting, you're not supposed to be deep gargling. You shouldn't be deep gargling when you're fasting. Even during the ghusl, when in Hanafi school, it is wajib, it is fard actually, a rukun, a pillar for a ghusl to be valid, that you must gargle properly. But in that, not while you're fasting, because you don't want anything to go down that way. With some simple gargle, simple like just take it and rinse it. And it's sunnah. It's not wajib anyway for your wudu. Be careful about that. Okay. Likewise, saliva that may talking as little saliva came here. What will we do about that? Okay, while talking, some bugs on their own. You couldn't stop it. Not actively looking for that. Like croc sitting there hoping for 20 and swallow it in the afternoon with my saliva mix. Proper meal done. I'm happy. No, you can't do that. But there may be a dish like that. Who knows? Somewhere in the world. That's likewise smoke from the traffic. Flour from if you're working, then there's certain particles which you couldn't avoid despite trying everything. Not actively going for that. Okay, construction work and other stuff. An unavoidable substance will invalidate the fast if deliberately swallowed or inhaled. It went on its own, but you're actively doing it, actively swallowing, actively doing that would nullify. Don't go and do it.
Like steam. Take steam.
Yes, if you can't take a steam inhalation would be same. Nebulizer would be a problem. Okay.
Putting on like using your deodorant.
Yes.
Is that coming or is
No,
that,
that's fine. Deodorant is fine. Perfume is fine. Deodorant is fine. Fine.
Sometimes it can dry your mouth as well.
No, because the deodorant have almost no perceptible body, and likewise the thingy. Obviously, if you do in your mouth, then that's fine. The smelling is okay. Okay, and that's fine. Perfume is fine. Ether is fine. Like this Loban thing, which has a small body, and likewise the agarbatti we used to have And it has particles, so try to not smell it very closely. Keep it distant because they're like a smoke. The smoke particle that can enter. So cigarette obviously is not permissible.
What if you see like a smoke coming towards you?
That's fine, but obviously you're not going to be very close to smoker, I hope.
No.
Even in normal circumstances. But yeah, if someone is smoking, stay away from them regardless.
Yeah.
But yes, if they keep, because if they actively throw, smoking on your face, like what you call the thingy, that what is this part called? They exhale the, I don't know what the English word. What's the English word for that? On your face. मुंह पे धुआं छोड़ रहा है, उर्दू में तो ऐसे कह देंगे. Again, chuff, puff, puff on your face, puff on your face, something like that. Blow on your face. That's wrong.
So you have to like, is it fault for you to like hold your breath?
Yeah, stay away from them. Yeah, accidentally, if someone walking past you didn't know, and then that's fine. That's accidental, not intentionally done. That wasn't avoidable. Now, something which is not avoidable, then you excuse. Accident. Mistakenly swallowed water while making wudu. Mistakenly. There's difference between forgetfulness. You didn't know that you were fasting and you swallowed whole of it. No problem. You don't do it, but accidentally. Forgetfully happened. Accidentally, I knew that I'm doing my wudu, and I'm just no, I know I would gargle a little bit. It's not going to be a problem. I'm just here. And that is why toothpaste we do not advocate. We say dislike, because when you do it, you don't know that after while gargling, talking to someone called you from outside or whatever. I am coming. A small bit of wudu go, you're fast straight away out. Okay, so that would nullify your fast. So that's why we suggest don't do something that may cause you trouble. But accident is when you knew, or someone just asked the question, as I just mentioned. Wow, that's lovely. Mind reading. Toothpaste. It's permissible. It's not haram to use it because it's just in the mouth. It's not going in the throat. But it may. That's why it's disliked. It is disliked. Not haram. It wouldn't. But if it went down, then it's gone. But with regards to toothpaste, I can tell you there are two things. One is the smell that we're concerned about. The smell tends to come from our teeth and gums. We don't clean them very well. We don't use the floss. We don't make whatever we say. We don't clean before you go to bed type thing. So that gets rotten inside, and there's bacteria and all the different anaerobic bacteria, all just getting mainly anaerobes getting there. And they have all the lactobacilli and funny bacteria. They create that stench. Toothpaste thing on that only do this little bit of sense that I'm clean for a short while. The smell would still come literally half an hour or so later, maybe even less. You can't clean it, that smell, because that bacteria is still, you haven't cleaned it properly. It feels good temporarily, and you feel that I've done it. You ask half an hour later, someone to come and smell, and they'll say, you know what? Why? Because you have not cleaned it. The smell that comes from the stomach while you're fasting, and that is really fasting, not when your fasting is only 8 hours or 9 hours, and you had this meal, and then you would have 3 meals after that, because you do start, definitely, and then you would go, before coming for Tarawih, you have another something, and after going to, in case I don't wake up before going to bed, let's have something else, and then I would have, so there's about minimum 4 that everyone would do in Ramadan this year, I know. Then I can audit it, and then I'll find out, yes, 99%. So that is not going to keep your stomach empty. So hence the smell is not coming from your stomach, which is the bread that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, because it's like better than musk in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the person is hungry for me and he's fasting for me. And hence these are the pangs coming from inside. It's just coming, the gases are coming from his stomach, generated from the stomach due to not having anything and then digesting itself or whatever. Not from the mouth. And that doesn't get cleared off, but you can try. So try to stay away if possible, especially if you do not need to go for work or whatever. Stay. Suhoor, the question is about suhoor, although not relevant but important. Suhoor or sahri, pre-dawn meal, is not fard. You don't have to have it. You can fast without having suhoor, but there's barakah in it. This is sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It would attract more blessing and favors, and it would give you, some time to even pray your tahajjud. 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes earlier. And obviously, accidentally, if you didn't wake up, no problem. Even if you miss all your suhoor, your all fasts are valid. You don't have to have suhoor, but preferred, obviously, highly recommended. That's what accident. Yeah, don't confuse accident and forgetfulness. Okay, they're two different things. You had to break your fast. What would you do? You had to, because your blood pressure is so low, or that you need some drips, or you need to eat something because you're fainting due to low sugar level or whatever. Very sick, and you have to take medicine for fine. Or asthma because you're wheezy now, you're breathless. Take it. So these are excuses. You would not be sinful, though it would break your fast. Accident would break your fast, but they would not attract any penalty. You just have to make up a fast later on. Unawareness. You did not know. Oh, I didn't know that taking medicine was a problem. I just took it. My blood pressure medicine. That's my routine. Not knowing is not an excuse. Likewise, I didn't know. Oh, I thought it was 8 o'clock. Oh my. It was actually 8:45. So the time was wrong. 5:45 or 7, whatever time. So I misjudged it. Or I didn't know that I need to stop at this time. I thought that's suhoor time is stop. I thought start time is when you stop. I ate whole day long. That's not an excuse. There's a person who actually sent this. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, and complete your fast until Isha, until night. But before that, Allah says, كلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر. He didn't quote that. He said that Allah says in the Quran, then continue to eat and drink until you see the white thread separates the black thread. And until Fajr. He said until Fajr. Until Fajr. What is Fajr time? You look at Masjid Fajr time. Today is 7:15, for example. Tomorrow morning, he said, I would eat until 7. Why are you changing it? That's the Fajr time. Whatever my Masjid say Fajr time, before Ramadan, I wouldn't change it. You would just stay that Fajr time. 7:15 is my time. You continue to eat until 7:15. Here's ijtihad. The Quran used the word Fajr. Okay, he took it literally. Fajr means Fajr prayer. Fajr prayer ends up to sunrise. So I would eat until Fajr ends, which is sunrise. So wherever it is, I can eat until that time. This is ijtihad, mashallah. It doesn't matter whether he accepts or not accept. His fast is not done. Sleeping. You ate during sleep. Didn't realize. I don't know why people do it. Some people may do it. Some people sleepwalk and then had whatever they had. And people do that. They sleepwalking and sleep. In sleep, they can do whatever. Excused. So they're in Ramadan. If they did it during the daylight, obviously, then it would be an excuse, although it would break the fast. Now, these are the excuses. Meaning, these are not. They would not be excused from, like, they're not be called that you haven't broken. So your fast is broken. Yet you had. So this is not excuse for breaking your fast, but your fast is broken, but you are excused from the punishment because it happened accidentally. Because if you did break your fast intentionally, what is the penalty? 60 fasts in a row. So that penalty would not be attracted here. You would not need that because you did it with a reason, whatever reason. But that's not considered excuse enough to continue your fast. And then unconsciousness. It's like sleeping. Obviously, it would nullify. And then insanity. If you become insane, it would nullify you. It's like sleeping. And likewise, being forced. Someone made you to eat something and it will still be considered broken. Okay. I would just go very fast so that we can finish it quickly. Or maybe 5 more minutes. Let's see. Because each of these, there's some detail to that and some hadiths. Shall I skip that? Let's just skip it. Then next week we may just go through them. Because I actually have mentioned roughly everything. Oil doesn't That's not a problem. Cupping, hijama, is not a problem. Okay. Backbiting, obviously, these are all bad things. You shouldn't be doing it, but it doesn't nullify. And if one intends to break, you had the intention to break it, but you never did it. I'm going to break it, but didn't do it. Fine. Or having the intention but not doing it, not a problem. Smoke, meaning not a smoke, meaning the smoke enter the body. Sorry, I should have changed. It's not smoking, not smoking. Smoke as in smoke. Unintentionally. Intentionally, it will. Just likewise. We mentioned it. You were just putting something in the cotton bud, found something, and they did the second time. So obviously some facts went in. It doesn't nullify the fast because there's no connection there with the nasal mucus. Likewise, yes, vomiting. If you vomited actively, plan to do it, that is a problem. That would nullify, depending on the size. If it's huge, mouthful, yes. Unintentionally, it doesn't. Unintentionally. Okay. And there's a difference of opinion about if you swallowed it back. So that's an important point with regards to vomiting. Imam Muhammad, the student of Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi, rahimahullah, he said that if you because it's quite common for people to accidentally swallow some of this back, because not everything would come out straight. There was something might go back. Would that be considered excuse? Because vomiting unintentionally, it doesn't break. They agree, everyone agrees. But some of that went back in from mouth or from throat. Would that nullify it? So Imam Abu Yusuf said yes. Imam Muhammad, the two students of Imam Abu Hanifa, he said no.
What about most people?
No problem. As long as you don't swallow it, because some of that might trickle back. If it trickles back, and we'll come to that as well. Intentionally, someone did that intentionally, but not more than a mouthful. It's not mouthful. And what is mouthful? How do you identify mouthful? That which you cannot control in your mouth. So you're forced to open the mouth, and then a projectile vomiting coming out. This stuff is coming out because you could not hold it. That was big enough. This is a food we already mentioned, chickpea size. So the fast is only invalidated if a substance enters from an entry point that is connected with the digestive system, given the substance an independent stay in the digestive system, without the presence of an excuse that could prevent the fast from being invalidated. So all 5 conditions. Okay. So again, this said exactly the same. I mentioned it because the way they have done it, I'm just copying whatever it's a nice way of going through and revising it. So it would and that wouldn't. Okay, quick quiz, few points on that. Acupuncture. No. Because it's not going into the digestive system and it is not even the entry point. What about asthma pump? Everyone knows now. Contact lenses, creams and lotions, deodorant, eardrops. See all muftis now? Endoscopy.
Yes.
And the reason yeah? Because of the solution that would be sprayed with it. Sorry. Extracting blood, taking blood?
No.
You're not going in. Blood transfusion, what about blood transfusion?
No.
Giving the drip or the blood transfusion? What do you think?
No.
Glucose drip?
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Again, where is it going? Is it going in the digestive system? No, it's going in the blood. Is it going from the entry points? It's not going in the entry points. But should you be doing it? No. Obviously not. That defeats the purpose. It's like healer. It's like not doing the, what you call, hunting on or fishing on Saturday, but putting the net on Friday and collecting them on Sunday. They become, what happened to them when the people did it? Become like monkeys and khinzir. Yeah. Khanazir, yeah. Eye drops?
No.
Injections? Oh, you will. Intravenous drips? Incense. Incense is, the Loban thing, when you have that agars and stuff like that, what you call? Oud. You put that and there's a lot of stuff coming out of it. It actually will not, as long as they're very small. So still, normal incense has no, our Loban traditional one has big particles, so avoid those. But the normal incense that we have, like only this, the one, it's quite a practice now in Arab world where people have that and they would just put in the center. There's a nice smell coming, just burning some sort of oil or whatever and keeps. So it hasn't got a body, then it's fine. Lip balm, what does it depend on? If it's just on the lip, or if you keep doing it. Yeah, people do that, isn't it? They lick. So lip balm become licked, then it's done. There has to be lip, not licked. What about makeup? It was mouthwash. Again, yes, because it depends. If it goes down, it's like toothpaste. Yeah. Nose spray, same thing. Lip balm or Vaseline is the same thing. As long as you not keep tasting it, because sometimes there's the flavored one as well. Strawberry. I had strawberry once. I said, "What is that?" Oh my goodness! The small girls, they have it. It's like, that's very tasty. So the nose spray,
Yes.
obviously. Patches, pills and tablets,
Yes. Yes.
smelling food,
No.
smelling perfume,
No.
smoking,
Yes.
suppository, which is medicine going back passage up,
Yes.
paste.
Yes.
No, depends again. Yeah. Vaginal examination. So sometimes they have to go to the private part of women to see their cancer or whatever, if there was any problem. So they put, a metal two things called a speculum. It went in, and then you open it up just so that you can see with the, either the camera scopes or another thing that you put in. But anyway, so that exam, or even with the finger, sometimes they have to test the back passage or front passage. But this front passage, if they have to test it, would that nullify your fast?
No.
Why?
It
It is not connected to digestive system. There will be some lubricant that's going there. Obviously, you won't do it. You want to avoid these things while you're fasting. Why you want to then feel very unwell and sick? There you go. So finally, 2-3 points on that: ejaculation or orgasms, or orgasm meaning having the excretion of the sperms with intercourse or without intercourse. If with intercourse, obviously it would nullify it. Without intercourse, it depends whether it is a physical stimulation or it is just on its own with a thought, with the idea, without touching your private part. Then it doesn't. Obviously, one should try and not do that. And likewise, if you're sleeping and nocturnal emission, no problem. Okay. Thinking, looking, talking, touching, arousal, any of that with your wife has no problem. Okay. As long as there's no ejaculation. So that's easy. Finally, vomiting, intentional or unintentional. If it is unintentional, doesn't matter how much it is, doesn't nullify. Intentional, if it's mouthful, it would nullify. Less than mouthful, it wouldn't nullify. Yes, that almost done. Whether if you return it back into the throat, if you return it back, so as Imam Muhammad allowed it, but Imam Abu Yusuf said it's safer to be on Imam Abu Yusuf's side. So we say it will break if returns it and swallow it knowingly that the done is gone.
If it doesn't come here, just till here.
Yeah, that's fine. It hasn't even come out, then it stays. That's not vomiting. It's just a little regurgitation and then went back. That's fine. As long as it hasn't come to the mouth or throat. On its own, no problem. No qada for these, yeah, when there's excuse. And finally, last slide. It does not break the fast of the fasting person, although there's difference of opinion on that. There's a hadith of Rasulullah which I was thinking about, but I left it there in the interest of time. Rasulullah said, the one who has done the cupping and the one on whom the cupping is done, they both have broken their fast. Likewise, in the same hadith, he said, the one who is backbiting, that person has actually, broken his fast. Backbiting to whoever person, they've broken their fast. Meaning, they have not got the quality of their fast. They shouldn't be doing it. Otherwise, it doesn't fulfill the principle. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself is noted, and there's a report that he had this hijama done while he was fasting, and he didn't, say that it's broken. He should have, but he didn't. So that's fine. But as I said, there's difference of opinion. Certain people would take it very strictly, and they say no, because this hadith say we just take it literally. With the action, we may say excuse or whatever. So there's certain scholarly debate on that, but I mean, you wouldn't do that while you're fasting because you would feel weak. This is why Rasulullah, that's the meaning of that hadith. If you've done hijama on you, you got a lot of bloodletting here and there, you feel weak. A few cuts here and there while you already. Now, you might not appreciate that you can feel very weak in fasting. When you have 4 meals, obviously you wouldn't. You're not talking about this world is completely different. Anything that it doesn't make sense, whatever we say from the traditional part of the world. So historically, you would feel weak when you fast. Here you feel a little bit upset, agitated because I can't do this or that, whatever. But normally no one feels thirsty here, even in summer sometimes. You feel headache with coffee, craving for coffee or cigarette. Anyway, so that's that. Any question? And there is a question online. Let me just quickly go through that. What happens? That one is done. Hang on. Can you rinse your mouth with water outside of doing wudu? You can, but making sure that you spit it out properly and make sure that you don't do unnecessarily. You just want to make it wet, then this is dislike or not the best thing because it can accidentally go down the wrong way. Any other question?